Don't you know that the
One question. Sorry, hold on. Don't. I want to ask the question quick. I want to
do you have one there?
I do. I have one. I have one keyed up. Keyed up. It's keyed up. When I say it's keyed up, it means it's going to take a minute. Okay. This is a great one. It's from Sarah Peterson. I don't want to wreck the last name. Gebauer. Gebauer.
Sure.
Sarah Peterson Gebauer. I'm not sure if this is how you submit questions for Reaper reviews. Hashtag because I'm bad with technology. Well, she's like you.
So am I.
Okay. But here it goes. One thing I've always noticed in watching the series is that all these guys have broken relationships or no relationships outside of the club, with rare exception. Tig has estranged daughters. Bobby is divorced from Precious. Opie can't connect with his kids and is battling with Donna until she is, murdered by the club. Jax is constantly battling with Tara. Jax is constantly battling with Tara. Piney is divorced from Mary, or estranged maybe. And then Juice is always alone, etc. It speaks to the toxic nature of the club. Why do these guys keep with it when it destroys their lives time after time? What is it about Sam Crow that makes them willing to walk away from these potentially life-saving relationships? In your research into 1%ers and all, is this really true, or is this just part of the show? I appreciate the community you're building here. Thank you so much. First of all, great question.
Okay, that question was hit right out of the park. I think this is you can't really answer this question in one sit down, but I will just say that I'm an actor playing a character called Alexander Tig Traeger on the show Sons of Anarchy. You do all your research, you find out about 1%ers. I could ride before I started the show. All of a sudden, the one thing that we had as a bond was family. Bikers are family. Trust me when I say this. There's not one biker that is not a family member of a family, meaning the bikers that they associate with. Most of them have relationships, obviously. A lot of them are fathers and mothers and have kids. But the club, there's something about the club that Opie had problems with leaving and coming, and the pull and the push. The club is the family. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be broken relationships with other things. If you put club above your wife or your old lady or your guy or your buddy or whatever, the club, you go to church, you go to chapel. There's certain rules when you belong to a club. And I don't think it's like the NFL, Theo. You and I have talked about this, Dan, to finish off my answer. The NFL, and we know all the brain injuries. There's not one NFL player that would have changed anything because of the love of the sport and the love of the contact and the love of the buddies in the locker room. 1%ers have that going on. So it's a constant push and pull, and it's a great question.
Yeah, and I think you really answered it. For me, it's that, and I think Juice actually said this line early in that prison episode that we did where he got shanked, is the club is your family. Everything else takes a step back.
Beautiful scene. You were sitting on the bed. Yeah, you said it to Charlie.
So that's it. I mean, if you really want that answer, Sarah, the answer is that's it. The club is the family. And when you have something that is the utmost importance, where if anything even roughly comes in the way of that, it gets pushed to the side. So I think all the things you're talking about, why Juice was alone, why Tig was estranged from his daughter, why he had all these problems, why all this stuff with Jackson Tara, that's all because the first thing in their life was Sam Crow.
That's right.
So that's the number one thing in their life. Everything else that comes in the mix of that is a problem, meaning that you're lucky to be there. And if you in any way impede on this relationship with the club, you're gone.
There's no time for you now. That's right.
So great question. I love stuff like that.